Hey guys, welcome to our playthrough of No Man's Sky. Um, this is a very special game because the game was nowhere near meeting expectations when it was first released in early access in 2016, but has magically turned this completely around because of the hard work and commitment of the developers. I'm not going to speak too long about it because you might have heard this already on other websites and YouTube channels. But the way the game is right now is just really very impressive, especially from a survival base building perspective, which is my favorite genre. Games like The Forest, Astroneer, you name it, 7 Days to Die, things like that. Um, yeah, No Man's Sky, the way it is right now, it's in my book, uh, you can't beat it. As far as the games that I've played, it's to the point where I would actually say it doesn't even come close to what No Man's Sky is currently offering. Um, I do have to do the disclaimer though that I am not an expert. I have about 60 hours in the game, so I'm by no means an expert. I'm not even finished with the tutorial, but that's mostly because I'm a very slow grinder farmer kind of guy before I proceed to the next step in the missions. But you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to cut that all out for you guys. But I just wanted to do a playthrough, start at the beginning, see where we get. The 60 hours do help me because I kind of know what to expect, and it's just very impressive. Basically, I've been playing it for the last, I say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, daily, couple of hours, and almost every day it's like, wow, I didn't see this coming, and it's like, how awesome is this going to get? Because it's just, it's very surprising, very exciting stuff. And I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, it's not your normal base building survival game. There's a lot more to it. It's like they really wanted to put everything in one game. And with the hours that I've put into it, so far they have succeeded. I'm still, every day I'm expecting to run into a wall where I'm going to say, well, this is just not working out, or this is where it's going to end for me. And I'm not there in any shape or form. I'm just really enjoying the game, really love playing it. And it's kind of addicting. It can be a little bit grindy for some people, but maybe because of the way I've always played games, for me that's not really a concern. I don't mind it to be grindy, but let's get into it. So you can see I kind of have some hours in there. The 43 hours is it's. I think I'm not even halfway through the tutorial. I think I've only seen the tip of the iceberg. I don't know much about the game. I don't really go much on Reddit or YouTube for other channels. I don't like doing that because I really want to explore it all myself and be surprised myself, and I don't like seeing spoilers too much. But we're gonna start a new game. We'll just do normal mode. Normal mode means that we're gonna start up at a planet that is, for whatever reason, not super friendly to us. It's gonna be hazardous. Can be too cold, can be too warm, can be toxic, can be radioactive, and it's gonna put a pressure on our hazard protection suit. And the beginning of the game is making sure that we restore that because it's almost out of juice, which you're going to see in a moment. This initialization takes a little bit, and there's nothing I can do as far as I know to speed this up, so there's nothing I can do right now. I just have to wait. So apparently we're on a planet called Arco Wayne Anuth. I'm not sure if that's the way you pronounce this. Left on the top, you see our health bar. The white bar is a shield. The three pluses, as far as I know, is actually your health itself. Usually the animals are not dangerous in the beginning, but the planet is. As you can see, it doesn't really look like Earth. It doesn't really look like, as will be known as a paradise planet in this game. We will meet those later. Okay. So, the beginning mission is to mine and harvest something called ferrite dust. I call it ferret, and I apologize in advance. This has nothing to do with the furry, cute little animals. So don't think I'm mining ferrets, but that's the way I just pronounce it because of my accent, my my history, where I come from, and I try to avoid that, but there's no way I can do it. So you're going to be listening to a lot of ferret mining. So in the left bottom, you see a little red bar blinking. That is our hazard protection. It's going empty, as you can see. In order for that to fill that up, we need sodium. In order to find sodium, we need to scan the area to find sodium plants, or plants that contain sodium. The scanner is not working because we need to repair it first by mining ferrite dust. So usually ferrite dust can be found in rocks. So let's just start with that. You need about 75 of them. The beginning can be a little bit tricky because there is no fixed starting planet. It's just pure random. You don't know where you're going to end up. And if you look at the green, at the planet on the right with the green, what expulses the green clouds, that is actually toxic, so deal with that. Alright, now I click on tab to go to my inventory. Scanner is part of my multi-tool. I'll speak about that later. We repair, we put the ferrite dust in there. Scanner is repaired. Now we can click the C. Scan the area. We're looking for Na, not Na+. Na+ we cannot mine just yet. But Na is fine. So there's some Na over there. I'm already running out of protection. By pressing the spacebar you can fly a little bit. Okay, so let's see if we can find some more. I see there's some yellow dots there. That's the beginning of the game. You want to get that sodium. In the meantime, we picked up a distress signal. We'll explore that in a moment. We just want to stockpile a little bit of sodium here. Because that hazard protection suit is still not full. You can see it's almost empty. So you can replenish that by putting more sodium in there. So now we're doing a little bit better. Oh. And you will find these drops across the surface. So you can kind of search the boxes. You get some kind of material in there. This gives some sodium. That actually is really nice. That's helpful. I'm not able to... I don't know. Also, you kind of want to keep mining a little bit. Ferrite dust is going to come back the whole game, at least as far as I've been playing. It's extremely important. It might be the most important resource. It's required for a lot of building and progression. Alright, we'll use a scanner again, get some more sodium somewhere hopefully. I see there's some sodium. You can hover over the little thing and it will tell you, the little tag, it will tell you how far it is, 140 units away. So right now I'm sprinting. On the right hand bottom you see a running man, that is my sprint energy. The moment that hits the bottom, I will be running at normal speed. So what you can do is you can kind of fly using the spacebar. It's like a jetpack booster thing. Alright, we got some more sodium. I see some sodium over there. The great thing about this game, at least from my perspective, is that there is no rush. It's not time sensitive. So you can take your sweet time grinding and farming, and that is something that I really, really like. And like I mentioned before, don't worry about that. I'm going to cut that all out. I don't want you guys to be looking at me grinding for ferrite dust for 30 minutes straight. But it's handy when you have those resources. Very, very handy. Get some sodium. Okay, so we basically ended up on this planet. We don't know anything. We have no memory. And the storyline will unfold itself as we progress. And I must say, it's a very interesting storyline as far as I've been able to get into it. It's kind of difficult to explain, and besides I don't want to spoil it. But it really is not the straightforward kind of storyline that you would expect in a sci-fi setting, if there is such a thing as a straightforward storyline. But it's really, there's a lot of surprising angles, and you can make a lot of decisions that will actually lead to another outcome. So that is actually very, very nice. Okay, I'm just gathering some sodium. So yeah, like I said, the plants of them expel this green cloud is toxic. You want to stay away from them. You can also kill them with your mining beam. Usually it will give you some oxygen that you need for another part of your suit. If you look at the left bottom, there's a white bar that is called your life. Let's call it lifeline, life energy, life pack. That slowly goes down when you sprint and when you jump and fly and things like that. It uses that energy overall. And I think also your normal breathing does. And in order to refill that up, you can use oxygen, for example. So there's some oxygen there, there's some sodium there. These blue crystals are going to be needed further on for a lot of our crafting and fabrication of stuff. So I'll just stop and mine this up real quick. The mining beam in the right top, you can see that it turns yellow and red. It overheats at some point. It's a very interesting concept because normally overheating is a bad thing. And the actual, well, act of completely overheating is a bad thing because then you cannot really mine anymore. But from what I kind of gathered, the way I play the game is you want to try to keep it in the yellow and a little bit in the red, because the more the beam is heated, the more damage it does. We cannot open this barrel, let's call it that, this tube, because we need a certain item that we can craft later in the game. But right now we don't have access to that, so we'll just stick to all. So that's how you open these boxes. There's some gunk that is preventing it from being open, so we remove the gunk. You can put it in your suit and sell the gunk later, but I don't carry that stuff around. The reason being is that this game is extremely focused on inventory. That is one of the, I think, the biggest challenges in this game, because your inventory is very limited, and sooner or later you're going to be, I wouldn't say frustrated, but you really have to figure out what are you going to carry and what are you going to leave behind and what are you going to throw out of your bags. So let me see if I can find some sodium that we can run through in the meantime. Yeah. It's kind of hidden in the rock. Okay. If you look here, you can see that we have an exosuit. And that is actually showing the jetpack that makes you fly, the hazard protection, the life support that I kind of mentioned. And you can move these to the technology tab. Kind of organize things. Technology tab is usually where you put in your the individual aspects of your suit itself. And there will be more coming here, and buffs and you can get. Then you have two cargo slots. That is for big, as far as I know, bigger numbers. But this is your inventory. It looks like a lot, but it's going to be filling up real fast. Let's see. So we have this signal that we intercepted, discovered. So we should be making our way over there. In the meantime, you press C, you keep scanning, you try to pick up the sodium on the way, and also some oxygen. Don't think I have much oxygen yet. As I said, one of the easy ways to get oxygen is actually killing the hazardous plants. Right. So you can recharge your hazard protection here by dragging the sodium in there. Or you can press X for the quick menu, and then you can recharge equipment. There's going to be a lot of options popping up in that quick menu. And as the game progresses, you really want to get familiar with that because it goes so much faster. Alright, let's get some oxygen. In the background you can see a spaceship flying by. That is actually an NPC. Yeah, the game is, like I said already in my intro, it's very impressive. I know that's a kind of a bland, cheap word, but yeah, that's the only way I can describe this. The game has managed to surprise me at least 4 or 5 times in a way that I would say, well, that I did not see that coming, and it is actually really awesome. But hopefully you will join me on this journey and we'll experience that together again. Okay, we're taking some carbon here, because we're doing the tree first, and then we're going to get to the oxygen. Carbon is used just like in our world, for a lot of crafting and production. Really a lot. This is the Na Plus that you saw earlier. I'm not sure if that's going to show. Here you go. We don't have an advanced mining laser yet, so we can't really do much with it, unfortunately. Some sodium there, but it wants us to go there. Well, we can actually go there around the mountain. Let's see what sodium is. Now, moving around on the planet can be a little bit cumbersome because, well, you're not really fast. And you can only sprint now for a few seconds. The whole thing is that you really want to get acquainted with the whole flying. So one of the things that I did pick up from other YouTube channels is that you can actually fly by first making a melee attack, which is the Q. And when you fly then, if you time it right, and yeah, I'm still learning, you can kind of fly forward faster. So you can kind of keep traveling that way. Oh, there's actually a big patch of sodium. So, as you can see, so you move pretty fast that way. And then when you land, you can use a sprint again because that is then on cooldown again. So that's a nice way of traveling a little bit faster. Right, so that is where the signal is coming from. There's a starship there. Okay, so we get some kind of message from this signal, something Sentinel apparently caused this crash or something like that. It's all gibberish right now, later it will make more sense. So we will broadcast our signal, I guess. And it wants us to investigate the crashed ship, which is over there, the one that is on fire. Again, there's no time rush. The thing will be on fire as long as we want it to be. Goal is, and not to spoil anything, we have to repair that thing so we can fly around. I'm gonna open this up with some goo again. Move that. Let's see what we get. Get some jelly that we're gonna need later, actually. So at the beginning, you really want to loot as much as you can see here from these boxes. We're receiving some nanites there, I'm not sure if you saw that, but nanites are some sort of a currency that you can use in the game to upgrade and purchase other items. We'll get to that. Alright, let's load the ship. We're getting in the ship, and the ship diagnostics is going to tell us what's going on. Some sort of connection with Atlas. Okay, the launch thrusters are offline, so we cannot take off. The pulse engine is offline, so we cannot really do much. So it talks basically about our story, that we're alone on a strange world, unequipped and in danger. We don't know how we got there. But the ship knows me, and it's connected to my exosuit. Let's see if we have access to the log. So maybe we can figure out what... No, there's no log available. So the ship is going to connect to the exosuit, and pilot should perform maintenance. Okay, we're going to repair the ship systems. Okay. Pulse engine is damaged. And the launch thrusters are critically damaged. We get off the ship. Now you can click tab, and this is the funny part about it all. So now you have another tab here for the starship. So you can actually see these two are critically damaged. They have to be repaired using pure ferrite and the jelly. So we can actually click on that one because we already have the jelly. And the pulse engine, we need the hermetic seal and metal plating. Okay, so we go to our suit. I think I can make one plating. Yeah. Go back to the starship. Put that plating in there at least. So now we need the seal. It's going to send us on a mission for that. On the right side you can see how it kind of keeps everything. It keeps you up with the quest, the progress that you're making. It's really, really cool. Alright, back in the ship. The ship is going to give us advice where to find that hermetic seal. So we ask for assistance because we have no clue what that thing is. Great. Okay, so once we get out, go back to the beacon here, and that will actually tell us where that seal is, I think. So let's start with that thing again. Planetary chart. So this planetary chart is now in our inventory. You can click the E. And we'll find a route to that hermetic seal. Alright. Now we know where it is. Let's see how far this is. It's only 970 units away, so that's really not much. The thing is that, at least every time I played it, the moment you start running there, there's going to be a storm popping up that is going to put a lot of pressure on your hazard protection. Because it's going to be, in our case, very likely a heat or a firewall. Because we're on a planet, if you look at the icon, that is too hot. It's 60 degrees Celsius, which is, yeah, it's, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but let's say that it's really, really way too hot. To the point where it's really not comfortable at all. So the moment we're going to run there, we're going to need sodium to keep replenishing that hazard protection suit. So we can do that right now. We have enough sodium, I think. Hit the C, just to make sure that we can maybe pick something up along the way. That's too far. Okay, I'll just sprint. And if you fall from too high, you take damage, as you can see. Usually it's only the shield that take damage, but in some cases you can actually also do some of your health itself. The shield restores after a little while. If you don't take any damage, its shield on the left top, you will see it go up. I don't know what the time is on that, it might be 30 seconds or something. But the health pluses, when they start going down, then you need some sort of first aid kit or medipack to get that restored again. Let's sprint here. I would like some more oxygen because I don't have much oxygen now. There's the storm coming. It's a wall of flame. It's going to be very hot. It's right now 60. Let's see what that's going to be. It's probably going to be hitting 100 Celsius, which is 100 degrees Celsius is the temperature where water boils. Ooh. A bit steeper than I had expected. Some sodium. Very low in oxygen, this planet. I don't see any oxygen. Okay, there we go. The storm has reached us and it's going well over 100 degrees. So you can see that the hazard protection is going down now faster with the 3 arrows, kind of indicating that. We have enough sodium, so we should be okay. Also, if you are inside, then you're automatically protected and the hazard protection will slowly restore itself to full maximum strength. Oh, see some more sodium there. Like I said, in most cases, those animals are kind of friendly, neutral. They don't do much until you kind of bother them, and they might get aggressive. Hopefully you can make it in before I have to restore my... Yep. So I didn't have to reload with sodium. That saves me some sodium. Is there anything that we can find out here? Oh, here's... Okay. Here's a message, I think. So the archive... 6 out of 7 logs are corrupted, but we have one that still works, I guess. Sounds like somebody's making that recording. He's leaving it behind to see if it's of some use to some other people. I shouldn't say people, probably creatures, entities. His visor is damaged, he can't find the ship. We will recover the supplies. And he actually gave us the hermetic seal. Yep, so... that's part of the storyline that this is going to evolve, which is really cool. Alright, so we have the hermetic seal. Now we have to run back. There's a storm. The storm is still ongoing. So there's no rush. Did that go up? Get some more nanites. Is there anything else here? There's usually some boxes somewhere. Not much to get here. This is all random, so sometimes you get a lot, sometimes you have some other interesting items laying around. We're not lucky this time. Let's see the boxes. You see some sodium. Okay. Okay, so we picked up the visor that that creature left behind that wasn't working for him. And it's also not working for us. So we have to create some kind of nanotubes. First we have to install it in our multi-tool, because the visor is some sort of scanning device, so we're going to do that. And it wants us to create that carbon nanotube. So we go to exosuit, see if we can make that. We only need carbon for that, so we're good to go. Back to the multi-tool. Here. There. Now we have a visor that works. Which is awesome, because that actually allows us to scan certain minerals, plants, and animals. If you look here, you can see that there is this ferrodust, and it's an unidentified mineral. But you also see that there's some question marks with analyze. That means that this mineral has two resources you can actually get from it. But you first have to scan it. You press F to activate the scanner, and then you simply left click. Now you can see now that this element, if you look on the left, it gives us ferrodust and sodium. So now when we mine it, we actually also get some sodium from it. So you can see unidentified. Also when you scan, you get some credits, units. You got 200 there if you look in the middle of the screen underneath the icon. It's not much, but you're going to need that to purchase things and upgrade, just like in any other game. So scanning animals, scanning minerals is really very lucrative. And as the game progresses, you can actually increase the benefits, because right now we only get 200 units for scanning this thing, and for the animal it's usually, I don't know, between 500 and 3000, so 1600 this time. So as the game progresses, you can actually get mods that will give you a lot more rewards from scanning animals and minerals, for example. Which is my priority in the game, to actually get these mods and make more money. The more money, the better. So I'm not going to scan too much right now. It's just time consuming, it doesn't give much money. I can always come back later. There's plenty of planets to scan either way. I believe that I read that the game has 15 quintillion planets. Now, I can count as far as, I would say, a billion. And trillion, I don't know. I don't know what comes after that, but quintillion sounds... I think it's probably like 15 zeros. Might be wrong. But yeah, that is really a lot of planets. So there's plenty of stuff to do. And there's so much to do that you will never do in a lifetime. Alright. So first, our life suit is a little bit low. So we're going to charge that up with some oxygen. We don't even have enough oxygen for it. So that is definitely a concern. Let's scan. See if we can find some oxygen here. Oh, this is really... It's really low oxygen in this game, in this map. You have to keep an eye out for hazardous plants. A little bit of oxygen. On the right hand bottom you see this target practice bullseye thing. The moment that is full, we can scan again. Right now I can't scan. Oh. I think there's some oxygen here. Sometimes you have these red crystals. No. These were actually not crystals, this is actually a plant. Only has one resource, because you can see there's no question marks underneath it. The blue plant usually gives you a little boost for your exosuit. Worth it. Scan again. That might be some oxygen there. Oh, press one key. Problem is, it could also be a bigger oxygen, or might not even be oxygen. I'm not sure what that is. Means that we're going to explore it. What is that? Oh, it's a fireberry. Okay. That is this plant that you can harvest that will give you benefits. We will get all that later. So we're actually going to scan this one first. Oh, the beam is charging, so we charge that with carbon. You can see that for everything that you have that needs replenishing and recharging, you need different materials. Keeps things interesting. It's not a lot of oxygen that we're getting from this, but this plant has a secondary element that it can give us. It might be oxygen. No. Some plants do that, so it's really handy if you kind of find a plant that gives you both. It's not the same on every planet, so might not be the case here at all. But some planets actually have a lot of plants and trees that will give you oxygen besides carbon. Let's scan this one in the background. Sometimes you cannot sprint if the mountain is too steep. Scan. Oxygen. Forward. Alright, so we got the hermetic seal. So at least we would be able to take off. It's not really smart, but let's repair that pulse engine. But now we need to repair that with pure ferrite. And in order to do that, we need to create something called a refinery, a refiner, where we can put our ferrite in and turn it into pure ferrite. In order to make that, you have to craft one metal plating. You can see it in the right bottom. It keeps tracks of everything that you need to do. So you deploy that with the Z, because that the command will open up the whole menu of all the stuff that you're going to get later on for portable units and base building, and we'll get it in again. Alright, so it needs fuel supply. We even have non-carbon. So let's put that in there. So we're going. It's enough, but we really need to stop mining. I have no resources on that. Especially carbon, which usually are easy to get from trees. So that thing is probably done. We put that in the exosuits. Then you can pick it up using your middle mouse button. You just pick it up. It looks like you destroy it, but you don't destroy it. You pick it up. Now it wants us to repair the launch thrusters, the pure ferrite that we have. So now that's all working, so we can actually take off and fly. Should I get us some more resources here? Actually, alright, let's get to the ship. All systems functional. So now we can press the W key to take off. Alright, I'm actually going to leave it here. It was a little bit longer than I had planned for, but we repaired the ship. Next episode we're going to take off, explore the planet, and also start working towards building or setting up our base. So I hope this was not too chaotic for you guys, because I know the beginning can be really overwhelming. Because there's a lot of stuff going on with scanners and suits and hazard protection. So hopefully you guys will be there next time. And I thank you guys for watching. And stay safe, guys.